Hello, I'm Dr. Leon Stutzman, aka Doc, with another one of these little videos designed to help you to get through these strange days in which we find ourselves. These are strange days indeed. One of the reasons our church made a seamless transition from a gathering together on Sunday morning church to an internet church is because we understand the power of divine connection. We understand the anointing. I've said for many years that there's no time, there's no space, there's no distance with God. So when the pandemic hit and I said we're closing down our Sunday morning services, everyone understood that there's no time, there's no space, there's no distance with God, and we are connected. So every Sunday morning, people are connecting all across the United States with Aspire Church, with me, and this anointing is flowing. Lives are being changed. Testimonies come in every week, and that's the bottom line. It's been a seamless transition. We have reopened the church, but we don't have more than a dozen people there on Sunday morning because most of our congregation has said, Doc, we really like this internet church. We really like coming to church on Sunday morning in our jammies with our coffee and our cornflakes and experiencing God, and that's just what we do. We understand the anointing. Let me tell you a story that'll help you to understand the anointing. When our eldest daughter was born, because my wife had taken a pregnancy drug for morning sickness, when our eldest daughter's teeth came in, they were tiny, they were small, they were gray, they were bad. The dentist said, well, when her adult teeth come in, she's gonna have tooth problems all of her life. Well, there was an evangelist traveling through the nation at that time by the name of C.S. Updegrove, and he was quite famous for praying for creative dental miracles, aka teeth being filled. So we took Liz to one of his services. He prayed for her and he prophesied. He said, when her teeth come in, they're going to come in perfectly. And when her adult teeth came in, they were white, they were straight, they were strong. She never had a cavity. Well, I thought about that over the years, and I thought, I want to see that anointing manifest in my life. So I tracked down Updegrove. By now, years had passed. I tracked down Updegrove. I invited him up to our church for revival. I took care of him, gave him a very large offering, put him up in a primo hotel, took him out to great restaurants to eat, but all the while I had an ulterior motive. I wanted to tap in to that anointing. And shortly after that, that anointing began to flow in my life. And if you knew me back in the 90s, you know that I was famous for teeth being filled. In fact, one pastor of a major church in Chicago got up to introduce me and said, this man has saved our church tens of thousands of dollars in dental bills. That's when I stopped praying for people's teeth to be filled, because I recognized that they really didn't understand the anointing. They were just taking advantage of the anointing. The anointing flows. You can't see it. You may not understand it, but the anointing flows. Let me show you how you don't even have to understand the anointing to tap into the anointing. They brought a man to me one evening and they said, this man's about to go to prison. It turned out he was a connected person. That's a good way of putting it. He was a connected person in our area's criminal community, and he was going to jail and he wanted prayer. So they brought him to church and I prayed for him. Now, fast forward 5 years. C.S. Updegrove was in a meeting with me. Remember, I was tapping into that anointing. C.S. Updegrove was in a meeting with me. We went out to a great restaurant after the service was over. We were standing up at the bar waiting for our table to be ready. And we saw this table full of men. They had, 8 or 9 bottles of empty wine bottles. They had a huge sheet cake. I vaguely recognized the guy. We were standing up by the bar when the manager of the restaurant walked up to me with a big slice of cake, and he was really embarrassed. He said, Reverend, I don't know if you know this gentleman over there, but they seem to know you, and they wanted you to have a piece of the victory cake. He had gotten out of prison unscathed, and everything was right in his world, and he just wanted to show a little appreciation for the anointing. Now, I submit to you that if the connected criminal element understands or recognizes the anointing, certainly you ought to recognize that there is an anointing. You tap into that anointing, and when you tap into that anointing, there's a connection made. That's one reason I keep producing these little videos, because I have so many reports from people just like you that have said, Doc, those little videos are really helping me through these strange days in which we find ourselves. And that's my intent. That's my purpose, to help you to get through these strange days in which we find ourselves. I'm glad that you've connected with this anointing. Sunday at Aspire Church, it is going to be powerful. I'm going to be sharing a message on healing your finances. Even if you don't need a financial healing, I know you need more finances. This message is going to help you to experience a new dimension of prosperity, abundance, and blessing in your life. Because once again, that's one of my anointings. People recognize the fact that a pastor said to me the other day, Doc, you're just anointed for prosperity. And yes, I am. Catch it live on the live stream at aspirechurch.tv or catch it on Facebook at Facebook at Aspire Church TV. That's live stream, aspirechurch.tv, Facebook at Aspire Church TV. That's Sunday morning, 10 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. The service starts sharp. I'm Dr. Leon Stutzman. Thank you for joining me. Glad we have this connection. I'll see you Sunday, or I'll see you next week.